A U.S. aircraft carrier is a floating city moving faster than most ships on Earth. Now imagine this 100,000-ton giant suddenly fighting the ocean to stop itself without brakes. Today, we uncover the shocking truth behind how the U.S. Navy can drop a massive anchor at speed and why this move is pure controlled danger. 1. This is not a normal ship. This is a monster. Before understanding the anchor, you must understand the ship. A U.S. Navy aircraft carrier is one of the largest moving machines ever built by humans. Length, over 1,100 feet. Weight, more than 100,000 tons. Crew on board, 5,000 plus people. Power, nuclear reactors, not engines. This ship can travel for years without refueling and still move at speeds above 30 knots. Stopping something this large is not easy. Stopping it suddenly is almost impossible. 2. Why aircraft carriers almost never use anchors? Here's a fact most people don't know. Aircraft carriers are not designed to anchor often. They normally stay in position using nuclear propulsion, advanced navigation systems. Precise engine control anchors are treated as emergency equipment, not daily tools. If an aircraft carrier drops its anchor, something serious is happening. 3. The anchor is bigger than you think. Let's talk about the anchor itself. A single aircraft carrier anchor weighs 20 to 30 tons, is forged from extremely strong steel, is connected to hundreds of meters of chain. Each chain link weighs hundreds of kilograms. This anchor is not meant to gently sit on the seabed. It is designed to slam, dig, and hold a floating city against wind, waves, and momentum. 4. Dropping an anchor at speed sounds crazy, because it is. So can an aircraft carrier drop its anchor at full speed? The honest answer is yes, but it's extremely dangerous. Dropping an anchor while moving fast can tear the anchor out of its housing, snap the chain like a steel whip, damage the hull, injure, or kill sailors instantly. That's why this maneuver is considered a last resort decision. 5. The anchor doesn't stop the ship, the chain does. Here's something surprising. The anchor alone does not stop the carrier. The real stopping power comes from the anchor chain. When the anchor is released, the chain rapidly pours out, heavy links slam against metal guides, friction builds up, energy is absorbed gradually. This process slows the ship step by step instead of stopping it instantly and tearing it apart. Think of the chain as a shock absorber for a 100,000-ton machine. 6. What actually happens during the drop? Now let's break it down clearly. Step 1. Speed reduction. Even in emergencies, speed is reduced as much as possible. Step 2. Area is cleared. No one stands near the chain. A snapping chain can cut through steel and people. Step 3. Anchor release. The anchor free falls into the ocean. Step 4. Chain pays out. Hundreds of meters of chain rush out violently. Step 5. Seabed impact. The anchor hits the seabed and begins to dig. Step 6. Controlled deceleration. Friction, weight, and resistance slow the carrier. This entire process happens in seconds, but every second matters. 7. The physics are brutal and unforgiving. This maneuver is a battle against physics. A moving aircraft carrier carries massive momentum, enormous kinetic energy. Dropping the anchor converts that energy into heat friction, metal, stress, seabed, displacement. If the energy is released too fast, metal fails. If released too slow, the ship keeps moving. Precision is everything. 8. Why this is one of the most dangerous naval operations. In naval engineering, this is considered one of the most dangerous non-combat actions. History has shown anchor chains snapping violently, deck fittings ripped apart, shockwaves damaging internal systems, crew members seriously injured. That's why this maneuver is practiced mostly in simulations and controlled drills, not real life. 9. When would the Navy ever do this? So why risk it? Possible emergency situations include total engine failure, combat damage, avoiding collision, preventing grounding near shore. In these moments, the anchor becomes a last line of defense. It's not about convenience, it's about survival. 10. Training separates survival from disaster. The U.S. Navy does not rely on luck. Sailors involved in anchor operations train for years, practice emergency drills, learn metal stress behavior, follow strict command procedures. Commands are loud, clear, and rehearsed. There is no room for confusion. One wrong move can cost lives. 11. Why you rarely see this on camera. You might ask a simple question. Why don't we ever see this on video? The answer is not mystery, it's danger. Dropping an anchor at speed is extremely rare. It is not a routine action or a planned demonstration. It is a last resort move, used only when something has already gone very wrong. The Navy avoids it whenever possible. It is also highly dangerous. When thousands of tons of steel and chain move at violent speed, no one wants cameras nearby. A snapping chain can destroy equipment or take lives in seconds. Safety comes before footage. Then there are restricted areas. Anchor operations happen in zones where access is tightly controlled. Only essential crew are allowed. Cameras are not. Finally, many procedures are classified. The Navy does not reveal exact methods, timing, or emergency responses. What you don't see is often more important than what you do. That's why most videos online show something else. Smaller ships, low-speed anchor drops, carefully controlled tests. Those clips are safe to film. A real high-speed anchor drop on an aircraft carrier is not something the Navy wants to record, because if it ever happens for real, survival not video is the only priority. 12. Power still obeys physics. Here's the biggest lesson of all. No matter how advanced a warship is, it cannot escape the laws of physics. The U.S. aircraft carrier may be the most powerful naval machine ever built, but it still lives under the same rules as everything else on Earth. Steel bends under stress, chains stretch when pulled beyond their limits, and friction always decides the final outcome. When an aircraft carrier moves at high speed, it carries enormous energy. That energy doesn't disappear just because humans command it to stop. It must go somewhere. Dropping an anchor at speed is not about brute force. It is about managing that energy without destroying the ship. This is where physics becomes unforgiving. If the force is released too suddenly, metal fails. Deck fittings tear apart. Chains snap like whips. If the force is released too slowly, the ship keeps moving, and disaster follows. Every second, every meter of chain, and every angle of resistance matters. This is why the anchor chain is just as important as the anchor itself. Each heavy link absorbs shock. Each movement creates friction. Each moment buys time. The ship is not stopped by command. It is slowed by physics. Technology may guide the process, but it does not control the outcome. Nature always has the final say. This maneuver reminds us of something deeper. True power is not about dominance. It is about understanding limits. The U.S. Navy doesn't fight physics. It works with it, because in the end, even the strongest machines must respect the laws that govern the universe. Power without respect leads to destruction. Power guided by physics leads to survival. And that is the real lesson behind dropping an anchor at speed. Like, share and subscribe for more.